Hey everyone, it's Pam, and I'm here with my monthly update video letting you know everything that I was up to in the month of January. I am recording this rather late. I just haven't really had a chance to get to it, although that's a lie. I could have done it yesterday, but I was busy playing XCOM. I just got home from work. It's miserable outside. It's freezing rain, and while everything looks pretty because it's just covered in a layer of ice, it's terrible and freezing cold, and I don't know why I live here. So getting on to the updates. My podcast Media Mavens had 2 episodes come out in January. The first was an episode with Tanya DePass of I Need Diverse Games, and we talked all about Dragon Age. We really like talking about BioWare games on Media Mavens. That was a very fun episode to record. And our second episode was pretty exciting. Again, we talked a little BioWare, but we had on Frida Wolf, who plays Sarah Ryder, who is one of the protagonists of Mass Effect Andromeda. And that was a really fun episode. We managed to go almost 3 hours, which is like double the normal runtime of the episode. But Frida was just so funny and so she had so much information. We talked a lot about the voice acting industry and her experiences there. We talked a little bit about Mass Effect. Obviously, she couldn't say any story things or spoilers, but it was really, really interesting to learn about all of her experiences, and she even had some fun stories about other things as well. So definitely listen to that episode if you are into Mass Effect. I also guest starred on another podcast, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in my shout-out section. So my shout-out this month is the CartridgeBros. I'm sure you've heard me mention the Cartridge Club a number of times in my videos, and the CartridgeBros are the founders of it. And it's basically a monthly gaming club where we pick a game a month, we all play through it, and sort of talk about it on the forums, as well as record a podcast about it. All my animals are making noise right now. Oh, you have a squirrel. Yes. So anyway, they founded this club, and it's a really great place to be. They're all very supportive. Everyone's very nice. Assholes are not allowed. And the CartridgeBros also have a YouTube channel where they post a number of videos. They sometimes post their podcast there. And recently they just did a series that was sort of a club effort, which was the CC Top 100 list. So I think 45 members of the club all submitted a list of their personal top 100 games. I was one of them. And they were all compiled, everything was scored, and then they made a Club 100 list and released a series of 10 videos counting down from number 100 to number 1. And they were really well done, and they are on the CartridgeBros channel, which I will link to below. You should check it out. In addition to that, at the end of the list making, they did a podcast, which I was one of the guests on, where everyone just talked about their method of how they made their list, and if there was any games they felt, got snubbed or anything that we felt, we're really happy to see on the list. So it was just really great, and you should check out the CartridgeBros. And it's given me an idea. I'd sort of like to do a series of videos on my own top 100, since the Cartridge Club is very skewed towards consoles, and I've done a lot of PC gaming in my life. So only 14 of my top 100 made it to the list. So I was thinking I might do a little countdown of my own on my channel, because I like to share my favorite things. But anyway, check out the CartridgeBros on YouTube. Alright, so now the pickups I got in January. I got a few things. Let me just get my drink. Off the pickups. If you watch my latest review, you will have seen this, but after Christmas, I bought myself a little Christmas present, which is a complete in-box copy of Under a Killing Moon, which is one of my favorite PC games, and it's also one of my favorite just box art in general. I really like this. Yes, Lily. It's got some cool, all the cinematics on the side here, which are neat. It's in good condition, and it comes with a bunch of stuff. My dog does not want me to open this. So we've got the discs, which I actually had my original discs, I just didn't have my box. So now I have 2 copies of discs. This little insert that says what RAM will do to the visual fidelity of the game. And this gigantic user manual, which I love. I miss user manuals so much. This is 50 pages, so it's awesome. And I guess that's it. Addendum. And I could register, which I don't think will do anything anymore. A couple other things I picked up. I got Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter on Xbox One. I really like the Sherlock Holmes games. I'm currently playing through Sherlock versus Jack the Ripper. I've been playing that for a little while. I'm sort of making my way through very slowly, but I will play this one as soon as I finish that. And then, even though I already have it on PC and I've beat the game twice, I picked up XCOM 2 on Xbox. I prefer to play the XCOM games on console as opposed to PC. I think the controls are better, and it's just nice to lay in bed and play. So I've been playing a lot of this in the last little while. This is sort of like an evergreen game for me. I could just play it forever, basically. All right, so now what I've been playing a number of things. I started a few of the games that I got for Christmas. I played through the entire King's Quest, the new one, and I have mixed feelings on it. I wasn't a huge King's Quest fan of the original series. I just found them kind of obtuse, and I never really got into them. The Quest for Glory series was like my Quest series of choice, so I didn't really have an attachment to Graham. In the game, I liked the overarching story about how he's telling stories to his grandchildren, but in terms of gameplay, I wasn't a huge fan. The first episode was almost 8 hours long, which I found kind of ridiculous. Like, I feel like in those 5-part episodic games, like 2 to 3 hours is sort of the sweet spot. So episode 1 definitely overstayed its welcome. And then there were things that were in the originals that I, might have liked then, but don't have the patience for now, which is just like a lot of backtracking, go way over here to find this object and then go back 9 screens to use the object. And it was just not great. I loved Chapter 3 the most because it was a nice contained location. But the rest of the game I wasn't a huge fan of. The other game I have been playing a little bit is Recore, which started out a lot of fun. Shut up, Maximu. Sorry. Recore started up a lot of fun. The platforming was really good. The combat was alright. The double jump was great, and like the air dash, those were all super fun things to do. As I went through it, I was really enjoying it, and then I got to the last dungeon where they artificially gate the content. The whole way through, you're collecting these things called prismatic spheres, I think. And once you get to the final dungeon, it's like, oh, you can't come in unless you have this many spheres. So if you don't have them, and I didn't, you have to go back out into the world and look for them. And it doesn't just do it once, it does it 5 times because the dungeon has 5 levels. So that's just really shitty game design. So I don't know if I'm going to finish it, because while I do enjoy playing it, I just don't have time for that kind of gatekeepy nonsense. What else have I been playing? I played episode 2 of a game called The Lion Song, and this is just a little indie Steam game, and it's beautiful. The first chapter of the game is free, so you should definitely try it out if you like adventure games. And it's this beautiful pixel art game about artists and creating. So in the first chapter, you play a woman who is a composer, and she's trying to, write a piece of music. And you get to decide what influences the music, and sort of her process of creating. And then in the second chapter, you play a man who is a painter who can see people's layers and who can represent them in his paintings. And it's just a really beautiful, well-written game. So I feel like not many people will have heard of that, but if you like adventure games, definitely check out The Lion Song on Steam. at least get the first chapter for free and see what you think. In January, I also finished the game Catherine, which is a game I started a long time ago and then rage quit. Catherine is a game that I have like such a love-hate relationship with. There's a lot of the game where you just go to a bar and you learn about liquor and you get drunk and you text girls, and that's like A+. I liked that part of the game. But the rest of the game, like the really gamey part, is these sliding block puzzles, and they've got these really flimsy controls and terrible camera, and I just got so frustrated with them that I quit the game like on the second last level or something. So I read an article, I don't remember where I read an article, and Max is making noise again, but it said that there was a hidden super easy mode. So I went back to the game, unlocked the super easy mode, and finally beat it. So at least I can say I completed it, even if I think the gameplay sucks. And the last thing I've been playing is Rayman Origins. It was free on Games with Gold this month? Oh, February? January. When? I think it was January. It was free in January, and I think I've played most of Origins already because the levels were included as unlockables in the most recent Rayman game, but I like playing through it again. I think Rayman is actually my favorite platformer of all time. I like it even more than Mario. So that's mostly what I've been playing. I've been playing other things here and there, but I think this video has gone on long enough. So I will say goodbye, and Lily will say goodbye, and I'll see you next time.